Have you ever wondered how roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits form in a plant and in a specific order? Let's explore how a tiny seed turns into a big plant and how every step of its journey is beautifully planned. From seed to seedling to mature plant, development is a well planned process. Trees grow taller and wider over time, but their leaves, flowers, and fruits appear only for limited periods and sizes, and often in cycles. Now you may ask, why does growth come first and flowering later? And how do different plant parts form from the same zygote? That's because development is a mix of two processes, growth and differentiation. It all follows a precise and orderly sequence. Let's begin with the first step in plant growth, seed germination. Seeds germinate only when the environmental conditions are favorable. But what happens when the conditions aren't right? In that case, the seed enters a resting phase, a period of suspended growth. Once conditions improve, the seed becomes active again and growth begins. Now let's understand what growth really means. Growth is regarded as one of the most fundamental and noticeable characteristics of a living being. Growth can be defined as an irreversible, permanent increase in the size of an organ or its parts, or even of an individual cell. Usually, growth is accompanied by metabolic processes, both building up and breaking down, that occur using energy. For example, when a leaf expands, it is considered growth. Did you know? Plant growth is generally indeterminate, meaning plants can grow throughout their lifetime. This is possible due to special regions in the plant called meristems, areas with cells that continuously divide. These meristematic cells divide and produce new cells, which then form different parts of the plant. This continuous addition of cells is called open growth. If the meristems stop dividing, growth also stops, showing how important they are. You might already know that plants have special tissues that help them grow. These are called meristems. There are two main types you should remember. First, the root apical meristem, which is found at the tip of the root. It is responsible for the elongation of roots, helping them grow deeper into the soil. Second, the shoot apical meristem, located at the tip of the shoot. This meristem is responsible for the elongation of shoots, allowing the plant to grow taller and reach for sunlight. Together, these two, the root and shoot apical meristems, carry out what we call primary growth. Primary growth results in an increase in the length of the plant, both above and below the ground. But as the plant matures, especially in dicots and gymnosperms, something more happens. Two additional types of meristems appear: the vascular cambium and the cork cambium. These are known as lateral meristems, and they are responsible for secondary growth. Unlike primary growth, which adds height or depth, secondary growth increases the thickness or girth of the plant stem and root. So, how do we measure growth? At the cellular level, growth means an increase in protoplasm, but since that's hard to measure directly, we use related parameters instead. Common ways to measure growth include fresh weight, dry weight, length, area, volume, and cell number. Some amazing growth facts. A single maize root apical meristem can produce over 17,500 new cells per hour. A watermelon cell can grow up to 350,000 times its original size. Growth in plants can happen in different ways. One way is through an increase in the number of cells, as seen in the roots of maize. Here, many new cells are produced, adding to the overall size. Another way is by an increase in cell size, where individual cells grow larger. A good example of this is seen in watermelon cells, which can become very large. Let's look at a few specific examples. The growth of a pollen tube is usually measured by its length as it extends during fertilization. On the other hand, Leaf growth is measured by the surface area as the leaf expands and spreads out. Now let's look at the phases of growth in a plant. There are three main phases. Meristematic phase, where cells actively divide, found at root and shoot tips. These cells are rich in protoplasm, have large nuclei, thin primary cell walls, and many plasmodesmata. Elongation phase, located just behind the meristematic zone. Here, cells increase in size, vacuoles form, and new cell walls are added. This phase is marked by cell enlargement. Maturation phase, farther from the tip. Cells reach full size, thicken, and take on specialized roles. Most mature tissues in plants belong to this phase. Next, let's understand growth rates. Growth rate means how much a plant grows over a certain period of time. It's the increase in growth per unit time, and this can be shown using formulas or graphs. There are two main types of growth based on how cells divide. First, arithmetic growth. In this type, one daughter cell continues to divide while the other matures. Because only one cell keeps dividing, the growth happens in a straight, steady line. We call this linear growth. The formula for arithmetic growth is LT equals L naught plus RT, where LT is the length at time t, L naught is the initial length, and R is the growth rate. Next, geometrical growth. In this case, both daughter cells divide. This results in much faster growth. It increases rapidly over time, which we call exponential growth. Geometrical growth has three distinct stages. First, the lag phase, where growth is slow at the beginning. Then comes the log phase, where the plant shows very rapid growth. Finally, the stationary phase, where growth slows down due to limited nutrients or other factors. This pattern creates an S-shaped curve, also called a sigmoid growth curve. The formula used for this type of growth is W1 equals W naught multiplied by e raised to the power RT, where W1 is the final size, W naught is the initial size, E is the mathematical constant, R is the growth rate, and T is time. Now let's look at the two ways to express growth rate. Absolute growth rate. This tells us the total increase in size or weight over a given time. It gives a clear picture of how much growth occurred. Relative growth rate. This compares the increase to the original size. It shows how efficiently something is growing. For example, if two leaves grow by the same amount, but one started out smaller, then the smaller leaf has a higher relative growth rate because it grew more compared to its own size. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.